Last semester, I had a parent approach me at parent teacher night, and she wanted to know what her child would be learning in grade 9 geography. So I went through the basics of the units and told her about some of the big question ideas. And then she stopped me and chuckled and said, "You're not still going to be making them color maps, are you?" And I sort of had to think about that on the spot and say, well, we are going to be doing some coloring, but not in the traditional way. I told this parent that we were also giving these students some new skills in the digital world. And that would be working with the Google suite of applications. So, particularly Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Forms, and Google Drawings. I'm pretty sure there's something else in there I've missed. I should have just said the whole Google suite. But with regards to mapping, there are two standout applications within the suite, and they are the Google Slideshows and Google Drawings. Now, they both have their pros and cons when it comes to using coloring maps, making thematic maps, choropleth maps. The Google Slides is fantastic because you can take an image. So if you took a screenshot of a map, you can make it the background so that when the students are adding things and add like text or color, it doesn't move. It's in the background. So Google Drawings does not have that feature. But what Google Drawings does have is when you finish your creation and you want to export it, that image alone becomes the export of a JPEG or a PNG. So for this scenario, I've decided to use Google Drawings. The first one I want to show you is just a basic using something called the Polyline tool in Google Drawings. And this is great because you can make different shapes. So the first thing you obviously have to do is insert your image. And this is the image I want here. So I'm just going to fit it, sort of, almost, yes. There we go. Okay, so the line tool here is what you're going to use for this polyline. And it has this left-facing arrow. So I have assigned students an activity where they would screenshot their neighborhood on Google Maps, and then they would have to identify different types of land use. And they were given a legend of the different colors to assign to each different land use type. So, for example, if this was somebody's neighborhood, if this was a residential area, and this is what's great about the polyline is that you just click, click, and every time you click, you can change direction. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit up here. Oh, okay. When when your starting line and your finish line meet, they connect, and it automatically shades this pale blue. Now, the legend, for example, that I gave my kids, pink, was for residential. So you just go into the paint bucket here and choose your shade of pink or whatever it is you're doing. But you also need to coordinate the outline border color. And that should be the same color as your inside. So there you go. So it's those two tools as well. Another tool in the line category would be that's really, really fantastic is the curve tool. And this is specifically fantastic for roads. So it's another click. So you're straight, and then when you click again, you can curve. Okay. So here we are. We're going to go, I'm going to have to move this a little bit actually. Okay. And then I'm going to have to click again. Okay. So when you are finished with your road, you can change the weight of it and make it as thick as you want. Okay, so once you've got the weight, you can also change the color. And I had assigned red as that for roads. The other tool that's great for maps Also in the line tool is the Scribble. Now, with maps, you're going to get rivers and crazy roads that are going to need a lot of twists and turns and such. So this is where Scribble comes into play. So I will use this one, and this one is not a click. This one is actually, you are moving your cursor, and I'm using a mouse here. And when I let go of the mouse, that's what happens. Okay, so again, you can change the weight. This is not as important of a main road, so I'm going to keep that black. You can do that. These are great, and when the kids actually finish their maps and they have all of the land use colors up, they're really, really proud when they get to walk away from it. Another example I'd like to give you is for a choropleth map. And I have a map here of a lesson that I did on drought in Arizona. And for this particular lesson, the students were to shade in the various counties according to their rainfall in inches. And a choropleth map, of course, is using different shades of the same color. So we can use the Polyline for this as well. If there are too many directional changes, the Polyline is not your friend. So I will give you an example of what can happen with the Polyline. Let's hope that this works though. So I gave the students the legend of they had to shade the counties that had over 20 inches of rainfall, the dark blue, then the medium blue, 10 inches to 20 inches of rainfall, and 0 to 10 inches, the lighter shade of blue. So let's go to Phoenix, which is in Maricopa County. And again, obviously Phoenix gets different amounts of rainfall than the rest of Maricopa County. So this is kind of generalized, but we were comparing it to El Nino years. So it made perfect sense. Anyways, so we have our Polyline here, and we're going to outline Maricopa County now. See, this is unfortunately what happens sometimes. There's a bit of a glitch. So what I've found is using the Polyline several times within a complex border area works well. I'll show you the example here. So we'll go to Polyline, but instead of outlining all of Maricopa County, I might do something like this. Okay, this was the mid blue. Okay, and make sure I do my border here. Hope I got that the same color. Okay, and then I would continue to add Polyline throughout. And what's great about the Polyline, if you go back up to the select tool, you can actually move it. So it makes your work look a little bit more polished. And in this case, I did not get the color right there. Okay, so it looks like it was all in one. You can actually drag it, make it look bigger. And then I would finish it off with one more. And yeah, see, so here we go again. So I'll do a smaller one like that. Okay, and then finish it off. Oops. Okay, and what I would do is I would manipulate it a little bit, so I'd have them all. So that's how you can do a choropleth map. And Polyline is great, but it is like there are some it's a little fidgety. You could possibly do Maricopa County and all in one shot and have no problem. But that's what you can do if that does not happen. So next we'll do the county for Prescott, I think that's how it's pronounced, which is the mid blue. And again, I'll just click on that, and there seems to be a lot of zigzags in Prescott. So I'm going to make it easier on myself and do several of these. I think this was it. Yeah. Okay, so again, oops. And like I said, you can extend, you can move. If I want that to extend to there. So I hope that there's something here that will help you be able to communicate to your students that using this application years to non-El Nino years. So anyways, thanks for